Hi folks, welcome to the Snaps 101 series where we're going to continue talking about a security feature that exists within the authentication of the auth snap. Now to understand what I'm saying, I'm going to walk you all through a very typical workflow that exists in a lot of apps and games. So a lot of apps and games do have a concept called as virtual currency, and they do not want their backend to expose any sort of an increment currency API to the outside world. That way, bad actors can come in and just hit the API and give themselves coins or gems. Instead, they want to control that to be only server authoritative, where only internal code or let's say their own custom code that is on Snapser is able to increment or update it. And that's precisely what Snapser provides. And let's take this for a spin. So let me quickly walk you through the setup. I've created a backend with authentication and the inventory snap. These are the two main snaps that we're going to look at in today's demo. And let's now click on the configuration tool, and I'll tell you a few more things that I've done. I've created a connector for anonymous auth. It just allows us to do these demos quickly. And the main thing here is I've added a virtual currency called as coins. Again, you could have added a currency and called it whatever you want. I've chosen coins. Let's now look at the API Explorer and try and access a user's virtual currency. So I'm going to click the Get User Currency API. And as you can see, I've already created a user. And so I'm going to use this API and hit Get. And there it is. This user seems to have 300 coins already. Now, your backend or your inventory snap also exposes the increment user currency API right here. So I can, as an authenticated user, hit this API and give myself 200 coins. So if I hit put, there it is. I've given myself 200 coins and my current balance now is 500. Now, this is precisely what you do not want to allow because you want to control this API to only be accessed internally. And so let's look at how Snapser allows us to lock down certain APIs. So to do that, I go to the authentication snaps, security tooling, and pick the user auth restriction tool. This is where I'm going to go in and I'm going to scroll down to the inventory snap and tell Snapser that I want to add some custom restrictions. So I'm going to click on the restrictions and it's going to now show me all the APIs that the snap exposes. I'm going to pick the user currency API and select the increment currency endpoint. I'm going to tell Snapser to add it to the block list and confirm this. There you go. As you can see, the restrictions have automatically synced to your backend. And now if you go to the inventory and currency API and try incrementing the user currency again for the same user that we just created. And this time, let's try to increment it by, let's say, a 300. I hit put. There it is. It now shows you that user auth is not allowed. You are not allowed to hit this API externally, thus making your entire app or game server authoritative as far as currency granting is concerned. Now, if you instead use the internal API, so pick the internal tab on Snapser, and now select the increment user currency API, which, like I said, this is the API that your internal custom code uploaded on Snapser can use. This should now be able to increment the currency. Currency name is coins, and I'm going to pass in a delta of, let's say, 500 coins. And if I hit put, there it is. Internal currency increments are still allowed, but externally, you've stopped it. Thank you for watching this video. Please let us know what you think by adding a comment to the video. Thank you.